Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Bible Study Minute. Today we're taking a look at Daniel chapters 1 and 2. And in these chapters, we are introduced to Daniel, who is a young man who lived in Judah and was taken captive into Babylon. And we see that he was either a part of the royal family or of nobility. And as a result of this, he was then trained for 3 years to be put into the service of the king. And during this time, he was taught the literature, knowledge, and wisdom, and the language of the Chaldeans. And he and his friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, they all worked really hard during these 3 years, and the Lord blessed them for this. And at the end of this time, they were put into the service of the king. Now, after some time, King Nebuchadnezzar has a dream, and it's a dream that troubles him. But he does something strange. Instead of giving the dream to his wise men, he asks them to tell him the dream and the interpretation, which none of them are able to do, and they realize that no one can do this except God himself. And in response to this, Nebuchadnezzar just wants to kill them all, which is what he commands to be done. Upon hearing of this, Daniel asks the king for some time so that he can seek the Lord and try to get the interpretation and dream for him. So he, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah pray to the Lord that they are not caught up in this death of all the wise men, and ask God for the interpretation, which God reveals both the dream and the interpretation to Daniel, and he goes and takes this to the king. And then we see what this dream and interpretation are. And we see, of course, it's a dream about a statue, and how through this statue, God is giving us a picture of human history and the kingdoms that are going to come after King Nebuchadnezzar. And the takeaway that we have from this is less about Daniel and the dream, and it's more about God and who he is and what we learn about God. The first thing we learn about God is that he is the one who reveals mysteries. There was no one else in these first couple of chapters of Daniel that was able to take the king's dream and give it back to him. Only God could do that, because he's the only one that knows the thoughts of man. He's the one that gave him the dream. And then we also see that it is God who controls human history. He can give the dream, but then he also can use this dream to tell what's going to happen in the future. And we also see his sovereignty in putting Daniel and his friends in a place to where they were taken from their home and brought to Babylon so that they could be in a position to then serve the king and be there to interpret this dream. So we see God's hand of sovereignty just working all over the place. And the takeaway for us is that this is who God is, and this is who we serve. And as a result of that, we need to recognize that he controls our history, our future, and as a result of that, he is a man of his word, and what he says is going to happen, and we can trust his word. So that's what I want to encourage you with today. And until next time, grace and peace.